Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another live edition of the Highbury Squad. This is your show. All right, we're all rubbing our hands together because there's nothing better than not having to prepare a topic for the show because you just leave it to the listeners. Joining me is my podcast sister, Amanda. Welcome, PG.
Hello, so what a day.
What a day. God. And of course, does he get younger every time we see him, Amanda? I'm not sure. Super Kevin Campbell.
I know. It's so upsetting.
Have you noticed? Have you noticed? I've got to say this. Have you noticed? PG has only been on sparingly and I'm getting younger. So let's keep it going. Not battling PG keeps me young. She gave me a little taste yesterday. And then got off.
I ran on and I ran off.
That's right.
Well, look, I don't want to hold this up because we already have some of our listeners and some of the best Arsenal fans you can find waiting in the stream. And we're going to kick things off. This show is all about you, people. Okay, this is not about us. We're not going to talk about anything other than what you want to talk about. You can ask us about formations, tactics, what shows we're watching on Netflix, what our favorite tunes are right now, what Amanda had for breakfast today. YKC just looks younger and younger every goddamn show that we broadcast. And our first listener on, who has been a huge supporter of this show, is Mr. Mike Hertz. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Hello. Thanks
for having me. Hi, Mike.
How you doing, Mike?
Good. Just impressed. Kevin looking pretty snazzy today.
That jacket.
Is everyone going to come on? Is everyone going to come on and do this?
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Now the president is set.
Mixing it, Mike. Mix it up, Mike.
Now everybody that comes on has to just give Kevin a compliment. Drive Amanda crazy.
Yeah, it will completely drive Amanda crazy. Right, Mike, the floor is yours, mate. By the way, let everyone know a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you live. I know that you've named your daughter after a superb Serie A team. So tell everyone about yourself.
Oh, you know that. Yeah. So my son is actually named Michael Thomas.
Nice one.
And, Amanda, I think you know a little bit about that night. I'm not too sure.
A little bit.
I think I've heard you mention that once or twice. And then, yes, my daughter is actually, her second name is Milan.
Oh,
nice.
Lovely.
Yes. Lovely name.
Right. Where are you from in America?
I'm very close to Sophie and La La Land. I'm just a few hours away in San Jose. So I'm from California.
I love San Jose.
Yeah, I'm just a few hours. I go down south a lot, Sophie. My mother still lives over there. So I go visit her a lot. So yeah. But yeah.
Are you a Raider fan?
No, you know what? That's not the type of football that I really fell in love with, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, just baseball, LA Dodgers. Saw you rooting for them.
Yeah, World Series, baby.
Yeah. And then Arsenal is my mild obsession, as I like to say.
What about the Lakers? What about the Lakers, Mike?
He's not a Laker fan. He's a Warriors fan, I'm sure.
No, Sophie, because honestly, I was born in Southern California. I just so happened to move down up north as a grown-up. So I got a lot of love for Los Angeles and for all this team. So didn't mind them winning at all.
Nice.
All right.
That's for sure, yeah.
All right, Mike. Well, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Yeah, you know what? I figured I was worried that people were going to be a little bit too serious about this. So I figured
we like it already.
And I wanted this should be made interesting debate, right? Because when players leave, they're often labeled snake, right? So here's the question for the panel, right? All three of you are in charge of organizing a Legends match. The only problem is you don't have a lot of players to pick from. So what ex-player would you bring back out of these three? Adebayor, Robin Van Persie, or Nasri to fill up your lineup?
Oh my God, this is so easy for me. Should I just go first and then I can leave it to Amanda?
Go on.
Robin Van Persie, I'm done. You guys next.
Look at Amanda's face.
I'll never forget the Adebayor celebration. I will never, ever forget that.
Come on, PG.
I will go for Nasri, and I tell you my reasons why. And I tell you why. Because he only pissed us off in the last match. at Newcastle
RVP.
away when he slagged off Arsenal fans. Van Persie was a disgrace when he went to United and way before then. So no way on earth. So Nasri for me. Adebayor, no, but he did score the most amazing goal against Tottenham. So it'd be it definitely wouldn't be Van Persie. I'd feel sick even thinking about it.
I have an unpopular opinion about that one, Amanda.
Okay, go on.
I think the board failed him.
Yes,
I
well done,
often
Mike.
compare Aubameyang situation to RVP.
He
And-
was injured for about 9 years, I think, and we supported him. And he had one good season, then he wanted to do one. Let him do one.
What's KC's answer?
I don't.
Well, do you know what? I would go probably Van Persie, but because you went Van Persie,
Oh,
I'm gonna go Adebayor. Because you know why?
Adebayor.
I think Adebayor got a disgraceful time in the end because they sold him out. He was buzzing at the time at Arsenal, and if Arsenal were, he's one of the top strikers in the league, and we let him go. Why? Why would we do that? No, I thought Adebayor was a good striker for us. And you know what? As a player, I know how these clubs operate. And we've done it before, and we've done it again. They let Adebayor down.
Did you score against Arsenal when you were at Everton?
Against Arsenal, yeah.
Okay, so did you
My
celebrate?
first goal, when I left Arsenal,
That's a great question.
when I left Arsenal, my first goal for my new team was back at Highbury for Nottingham Forest. We drew 1 each.
Did you celebrate?
No.
Shirt off and everything.
See, Adebayor did the whole.
And they still booed me.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
So I wish I'd have
rude.
celebrated now.
Mike, what else you got, mate? That was a great one to start off with.
Dude, I tell you what. I'll be honest. I'm surprised with the fact that Amanda said that she would do Nasri because
He's dirty.
That's
He's
a
the
question
best of the bad bunch,
He's
to be
dirty.
honest.
All right. It's the best of bad bunch. All right. Follow up. I'm gonna pull out your the strings of your emotions right now. If only one could get a statue, Patrick Vieira or Ian Wright.
Oh my God, that's like asking which one of your children
No,
do you love
very
the
easy
most.
for me. Very easy for me.
Amanda's just knocking these
Go
out
on,
of the
Amanda,
park.
you go
She's not
first
even
on this
trying.
one.
Obviously, Ian Wright. That's it.
All right.
Move on.
For me, all right, I'll go next and I'll leave it to KC to go last.
Thank you. I like it.
He's just going to say whatever I don't say. That's
Okay,
what he's
so
gonna do,
I
right?
had a great night in Moscow at the World Cup with Ian Wright. Actually, with Ian Wright, Lee Dixon. It was the weirdest table. It was Ian Wright, Lee Dixon, Martin O'Neill, Mark Clattenburg, and Roy Keane, and it was just so much fun.
Was that in Russia?
That was in Russia
Yeah, I
during the
remember
World
that
Cup.
for you.
And
Yeah.
Right, it was amazing, and we had a great night, great time. Patrick Vieira, I had the pleasure of meeting here when he was in MLS, and I got to interview him and stuff like that too. And for me, based on what Patrick did as a player and as captain, and I love righty, and I feel like I'm cutting my right arm off here, but I'm going to go with Vieira.
Oh,
Right on.
God's sake.
So
I
you
love it.
really disagree on everything. Really
Well,
disagree on
look.
everything.
For me, listen, I know Patrick Vieira is a top player and top captain, but I can't see past Ian Wright. Honestly, I can't. Someone who came into the club and scored that many goals, came into football late as well. And he's an Arsenal man. He loves the club. He's got Arsenal running through his veins. I'm not saying Patrick doesn't,
No.
but I think that connection that Wrighty's got and had with the fan base as well. Patrick Vieira played in such a great team. You could pick, most of that team could have statues. Let's be honest.
Yep.
Yes.
But
yes.
Ian Wright, I believe, deserves a statue.
Yep.
Well, also, Rishi, our next guest, who's actually in the stream right now, just sent in chat. He goes righty all day long. So I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't know.
Maybe you're wrong.
It's my opinion. Okay, Mike, go on, mate.
I have one. Would you rather?
Ooh,
Oh, okay. Oh, I like these,
love
Mike.
this.
All right.
We
Would you
need to get him
rather?
back on this.
I
guy.
know
I
this
know.
guy's like.
I just love his accent. I'm
He's
like,
Quizmaster.
serial.
Oh, Amanda, I got a video to share with you with Mike from the Gooners podcast making
Oh,
fun of my
no.
accent.
Oh,
Yeah,
dear.
bad
God.
Mike.
This is going to be bad.
Mike.
Is this one of our drunken nights? 'Cause-
No, it wasn't Red Run Mike. No. Would you rather see Spurs win the league
oh my God.
Oh God, vomit! She's vomiting already.
or rename, for those of you with children already, your son Harry Kane?
My son, Harry Kane.
Easy,
story.
easy.
Oh, Mike, that
wow,
wasn't
Mike.
even.
Hey, all right.
Harry! Harry!
Sophie,
All right, Harry.
Sophie, you would have to name one of your puppies.
I wouldn't.
know
Wow. Well,
you're
there's
not-
Vinny.
She's
Everyone
like,
knows
not the
Vinny
dog.
Vieira.
She's like,
Yeah,
not the
no.
dog.
Everyone knows Vinny Vieira. So, yeah, no. I would
I
name.
don't think any of them would have
No,
said
I
either
wouldn't-
way, Mike.
Oh,
That's-
I would-
fair enough.
I would never ever want to see Tottenham. I have nightmares still after the Champions League final,
Oh
let
my
alone
God.
you know.
Oh my God! Well,
Yeah.
imagine how I felt.
I am
God.
loving these questions, though. This
Maybe
is
we should
brilliant.
just keep.
I
Maybe we
didn't
just
watch
keep
it.
Mike on and bring Rishi in.
No,
Should we do that?
no, not at all.
Wow,
top man, Mike. Top man.
Absolutely
Great
brilliant.
question.
Well
Thank you so
done.
much for having me on. Appreciate it.
Oh,
we-
Mike, are you going already?
So,
I know.
I'm not sure if I'm on a time restraint. I'm
No,
sorry.
let's just bring Rishi in. Look, here
Yeah,
we go.
hey,
Rishi, come on in, Rishi. How's it going?
And then you
Round
two
of
can
applause.
go
how are
when
you
you
from?
finish this.
How
Where's
are
he
you
gone?
from?
We
Where's
Oh,
are.
you're looking younger.
Nice one, Reese. Nice one.
Rishi, I thought you were my mate, not his.
we might
Yeah,
lose Amanda this
everybody's
way.
mate, but Kev's looking younger.
Yeah, man.
All right,
Go on,
All right.
Rishi.
Go for it.
2 questions, not 5 things, okay?
All right.
Yeah.
Right. First one is about touchline instructions.
Mm.
Now,
Oh.
we have no fans in the stadiums right now, so it's very, very quiet. You don't have the fans saying anything. The number
Yeah.
12 doesn't exist. So, but at the same time, you're hearing managers, I wouldn't call names, giving instructions. Now, this is you to Kev, really. How do you respond to that? Was it like that in the George Graham days? Or did you just go on a pitch well prepared to do what you had to do?
I know they do this, and they got all these signals, and they're like, do the players
Yeah,
even
yeah.
hear them?
Yeah. How did it work for you?
Well, it's obviously under George Graham, you were always well prepared. That was what that was the first thing. But in game, if you remember, especially at Highbury, George Graham always sat in the director's box in the first half, so we could get a good look at what's going on. And there was a phone right beside him that he could phone down to Theo Foley or Stuart Houston, who was in the dugout, and they would come and give either Lee Dixon, depending what side it was on, give instructions. But you'd already practiced a lot of the stuff that they were talking about. So that's how you could make the in-game adjustments. For instance, the Aston Villa game against Arsenal on Sunday, George Graham would have played 4-4-2 probably. And if they were killing us down the wings, he would have sent an instruction on that, right, the wide men have to tuck in and we have to shift across as a 4 and make it really tight. So their 3 in central midfield really are going to be outnumbered by our 4, if that makes sense. So,
Right.
just that little adjustment alone won us loads of games, because when other teams start to bring an extra man in midfield, then you all come narrow and you win the battle because you outnumber them in there. So it has been going on for years, but there are many teams who are not as well drilled as the Arsenal teams were back then. So when you do give instruction, players sometimes say yes and obviously can't.
It's a great question. Great question, Rishi.
Yeah, what I was getting at really, is it Arteta not trusting his players, or is it that the players need instructions?
The players obviously.
If it's the latter, I'm really worried.
No, the players
the
need
first one-
instructions. The players need instructions. 100% the players need instruction. Because
Cool.
if you remember correctly, Rishi, especially going for the FA Cup, the in-game adjustments that Mikel Arteta made were vital for us winning the game. Because you got to remember, the opposition will adjust as well. And if you remember, even in the final, Chelsea, we started getting done through the middle, and that's how they scored their goal. So it has to be an in-game adjustment to lock that up. And they never, ever got through in the middle again. They could get through wide, maybe, but there was no way Mason Mount was going to go through, pick the ball up in the middle of the pitch, and head for our box. So that's an in-game adjustment. And you know what? Modern-day players do need it because they're not in for the long haul on the training ground, hours and hours, like we were.
Yeah, but it worries me that if you're a player and you're paid so much money, shouldn't you be able to do these things? You don't need the coach to tell you that, surely.
No, but you see, Rishi, here's the difference. The players can play football. All the players can play. All the players got talent. But we're talking about adjustments here.
Okay.
So it's either, if you don't see the adjustment, the manager has to tell you. Because sometimes you're just caught up in the game.
Okay.
So when the instruction comes on, right, okay, yeah, I know what I need to do. Then you adjust. And then hopefully you get the right result.
All
So
right.
it's not a bad thing, you say?
No, it's not a bad thing. No.
Okay.
All right.
Hey,
Richie,
hey,
what
by
else
the
you got?
way, Rishi, by the way, our players need it.
I know that. That's what
players-
worries me.
Well, you would have done for sure. That's for
Our
sure.
players need it. Well, I had to have it. I got it from the East Upper by some Princess Gooner girl from up there.
Yelling at KC. Bless him. Richie, what else
Such a
you got, mate?
myth.
Right. Second question. This is about our lack of goals. Now, Arteta has gone on record and said we need at least 100 goals to be competing. At this rate, we're only going to get about 50. So I know you spoke earlier about formations and things, and you said 4-4-2. But that worries me a little bit because it's a little bit back. And we like the players
It's a
we
little
have
bit
are
what,
good at
sorry?
transition.
Sorry, it's a little bit what? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
A
It's
little bit defensive.
What, 4-4-2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, as opposed to 4-3-3, if you see what I mean.
Well, you finish your question and I'll
Right,
answer.
okay. All right. So at the minute, we're not getting anything into the final third. Only Newcastle is worse than us.
Oof.
You know, we're not getting transitions, and we have players who like quick transitions. We're playing too slowly. So, do you think 4-4-2 is the answer or not?
No, I said what I said was I would love to get Aubameyang and Lacazette playing as a 2, and in order to get that, you still have to stabilize the wide areas, but you still have to be able to have the wide men compete. So therefore, a 4-4-2 can be as defensive as you like or as offensive as you like. Because when you have a Nicolas Pepe or a Willian or Saka, you're not going to hold them back. They have to go forward. So all of a sudden, you've got 4 attackers. And then you're getting one of the midfield players to go and attack. And then you're hoping one of the fullbacks will join in. Then you have 6 attackers, Rishi. Do you understand what I mean? You have to commit. You have to commit people forward from that. But it's more when we lose the ball, we know the positions to be in. Because even against Aston Villa, and this is a lot of our problem, what happens at Arsenal, they all get back into shape in a 4-3-3 or a 3-4-3, but they don't affect the ball. They don't go and press the ball. And when you don't press the ball, Aston Villa and better teams will just pass and cut you open. And that's what happened to us on Sunday.
All right. Okay. So what else you got, Rishi? You got another one, or are you good?
That's it. Kev,
Hold on. I think a princess wants to say something. Go on, princess.
I've got a question from the chat room. See, I'm on chat tonight on my new phone. Look.
Got her working.
fancy.
She's working. She's got some chores. She's got some
I've got
chores.
some work to do. Anthony Herbert, Kevin wants to ask you, who was your roommate at the Arsenal and who was the prankster in the team?
There were so many pranksters, it's crazy. My teammate in the beginning was, who was it? I used to share with, I shared with Boldy, which was terrible. I shared with Merce once, which was absolute nightmare. I know everything about CFAX and Oracle back then. David Ilya, eventually, obviously, me and him grew up together. But I used to share with a load of different people. I shared with John Lukic at one stage. So I was
Who
always
was the biggest prankster? Who was it though?
No, there's not one.
Was it Ray Parlour?
No, Ray Parlour wasn't involved when I was coming through.
No, he was later than you.
Yeah,
He?
I mean, Lee Dixon's a prankster, Mercer's a prankster, Steve Bold is a prankster, even Rodders is a prankster. So there were some good lads.
Did they used to snore, Katie?
Steve Boulder used to fart.
Okay.
Casey's gonna get some nasty text after this.
No nasty text. He used to trump all over the place, Boldy. I tell you.
Right, I've got a question, another one. Okay, for Soph and me. All right, this is from Jose Jimenez. I think I've said it right. Hey. Amanda and Sophie, what are your fondest Highbury moments? You go first, Soph.
It's got to be Righty breaking Cliff Baston's record. That day was unbelievable. That was a great game. It was a great day. The sun was shining.
How he done it.
And how he did it. He did it as well. He had his little shirt underneath, waiting.
Vest.
Waiting. So
and he did it wrong, didn't he?
He did. He did it wrong the first time.
That's so him.
Oh, yeah. That's mine, Amanda. What about you?
Me is just being there. There's too many moments for me. Probably booing him. Oh, that way, actually. It's that way, isn't it? No, I never booed him. I might have sworn a few times. No, I didn't. I don't boo. And I was a stroppy teenager. Not much has changed except the age, really.
Stroppy teenager.
My memories are all of standing outside on the corner with all the boys talking and all the journalists talking to us. Yeah. But my dad was with us. And I would never forget telling a journalist that United were going to win the treble. And he looked at me and he said, young lady, they won't, no. And I'd love to see him again because, unfortunately, Mr. Man, he did win. They did do it. Just being at Highbury, just being there. There's too many memories. I remember I was pregnant there as well. And I'll never forget that I said to the guy at the turnstile, I can't get through the turnstile. You can't let me through it. So I had to go through the Marble Hall and ended up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I couldn't. And you know what it's like? Men are quite scared when you say you're pregnant. They're like, yeah. And I'm not like
cotton wool. Yeah.
I'm not shy at coming forward, am I, Kev? No, and I wanted to get in the Marble Halls, and I ended up in places that I didn't even know, and ended up going to my seat.
Hilarious.
But yeah. Thank you for your question.
You know what, Amanda? You just reminded me of a mutual friend, and Kevin will know her, Alex, who was one of the secretaries of Mr. Wenger and a bunch of the executives. Because of her, I got to stand in the tunnel right before an Arsenal-Liverpool game, and I got to take I think she's okay with me telling this story now. We're not even at Highbury anymore, but I got to put the ball on the corner flag after the game and whipped in a cross, mind you. Hello. Nice, Can I just say I beat the first defender?
Yeah. Okay.
No
clock in. It was the clock in. Yeah.
You just reminded me of another memory. I did actually kick a ball with the Arsenal women's team for a TV program when I was about 25. And I'll never forget, it was the first time I'd ever seen women's football live. It was just a training session and they were filming us. I've never seen women kick a ball so hard. I was so shocked. I was very young at the time, mid-20s. And we were in the, some training area at Highbury, and I got to go on the pitch. I've got these pictures. I was in the goal. My dad was there. It was amazing. So I've had some great times at Highbury.
And people go on, Casey.
Princess, were you inside? Were you inside? Yeah, you were inside the JVC indoor bit.
And then we came out onto the pitch.
And you come out.
And I've always
I wondered where he was going with that. Go on.
I had this one dream once that I played for Arsenal and I scored the winning goal. I've only ever dreamt it one in my 51 years of living. That was it. I scored a goal. I woke up. I played for George Graham. I woke up. I was so angry that I couldn't talk to anyone all day because it wasn't real.
Hilarious.
It was real in my dream. I scored and
was
we won the
me.
match.
That was KC
That was-
getting
that
back
was-
at you
Princess.
because of the abuse
was
from the
me.
East Stand.
I
Yeah.
used to dream just like you. I used to
Okay.
Listen,
dream.
I got to call it. 1 minute. Oh, the dogs are getting excited as well. By
One
the way,
more
Didn't hear
one
her.
more
question.
before we let Mike and Rishi go.
Can I do one more?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So I'm going to do it from a Chelsea fan, actually. He said, I'm 23 from Zambia and support Chelsea.
Bless.
Nalatuba Chizongo. I think I actually
We
said that
we
right.
love Nalatuba. Nalatuba tunes in a lot. So
Oh, good.
yeah,
Question
yeah.
for KC. Have you ever scored against Chelsea, which is his team?
Oh yeah, I scored against Chelsea. I scored an absolute belter. to beat
Celebrated
you
that one.
Yeah, in front of the North Bank. Oh, and I think Princess Gooner was very happy because we were 2-0 down at Highbury in that game, and we came back to win the game 3-2.
I
and
would have
got
been
the winner.
happy.
I got the winner, left foot.
Did you?
North Bank, yeah,
Well, we
Oh,
did
I
offer
would've been
PG.
cheering you
Don't act
then,
so
wouldn't I, Kev?
surprised.
yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my god, I love it. Listen, Rishi and Mike, you guys
Oh.
have been phenomenal. I
Thank you
just
so much.
adore you guys. And listen, from the bottom of our hearts, you guys have been with us from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you so much. Thank you for always supporting us, always engaging. And let
Our
me tell
pleasure,
you,
our pleasure.
you guys will be back on this show if that's cool with you, because we'd love to have you back.
We'd love to.
Talk some
Thank you so much.
nonsense.
Thank you,
All
Mike.
of
Thank you,
so much.
Rishi.
Appreciate it.
See you
Round,
later.
Thank you,
round of
Thank you,
applause,
Rishi.
everyone. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Take care.
Bye, bye, guys.
Bye, bye.
Bye.
All right.
What
Wow,
lovely-
that
what
was
lovely-
great.
What lovely people.
Listen,
Lovely.
Mike got it off fire style. Casey,
Yes,
Amanda
big
style, fire. Like
We're already
right
rowing.
in there with the questions. I loved his creativity with his questions. And then Rishi, I love it because Rishi has been a season ticket holder, I think, for quite a few
Yeah.
years. So he comes from a whole other school of thought too. So I love that. It was a lovely, lovely blend as well. So, and look, we got Arsenal Los Angeles in the house. Woo!
Yeah. Hello,
Come on.
Arsenal LA.
Listen, next time we got to get you in the stream, Arsenal Los Angeles. We'd love to have that. And as Amanda said, we got some callers in from Zambia,
Oh, God, yeah.
in
Got
the
loads. I'm looking
US,
them all.
Australia, Asia,
And we got Danny from the countryside.
of course. and no show would be complete without Danny. Right, Amanda, what you got? You got another question?
I've
Or-
got loads of different things. We're bringing another one on in a minute. So let me ask this.
I do have a big
Um,
question for KC. Maybe I'll save it towards the end.
Okay,
because it's
you
going to be a
save
big one.
it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and look, we've got the Scots in the house as well. Well done, Billy Kit Kat. Welcome.
Love it, Billy.
Oh, I love to play golf. Love to play golf. All right, we're going to hold you to that Arsenal Los Angeles. Love those guys down.
Okay,
Down
so this
there.
is something close to my heart. Lee Crofts. This is to Kev, I would think. George Graham, great manager. The way he turned us around leading up to 89 was remarkable. Dixon said that the team had done that drill that led to the Michael Thomas goal so many times. Is that true, Kev?
Yeah, I think what used to happen is George Graham, we used to do a thing called shadow play. And in the shadow play, there was no opposition, but the ball used to get rolled out and the fullbacks used to hit the ball long to smudge. And the midfield player used to make a run and you see if you could, work it out to get it to him. But obviously not the way it fell to him against Liverpool. But you'd always try and spring Mickey Thomas. I think, Sophie, you mentioned when we were doing the 89 that he scored a similar goal before that. I think it was against Man City or someone.
Man City, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and we always tried to spring Mickey because Mickey had a great engine and he was a really cool finisher. So if you could get him in the box, we fancied him. And it worked out so great, didn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, so
I love it. Hey, this is a good one from FIFA Boy Darren, a huge supporter of the show. He's at the bar. He's buying us around. What's our poison? Ooh.
Well, I don't really drink, but if I'm going to drink, it's a cocktail. And it's going to be my new drink of time because I'm back in the 80s. It's a pina colada.
If you
Oh,
like
nice.
pina
With a brolly.
colada. Ooh.
Ooh.
With a brolly.
With a
Mine's gonna-
brolly.
Mine's going to be a
I'm classy.
greyhound. I'm going to get, I like a greyhound.
Greyhound.
It's vodka and grapefruit.
Oh,
It's a little.
What about you,
it's a nice
Casey?
little drink.
Before we
Casey
Well,
just has the lot.
No, I know. As you know, I
Yes,
don't drink anymore.
He
I
doesn't.
don't drink anymore. I've given up alcohol.
Good for you.
I gave up alcohol on my 50th birthday. So I don't mind. I'll have a beer with you, but it'll be 0.
So does
It
that
will be
mean that
0.
you've been teetotal for about 4.5 years now?
You could hear you could see the tumbleweed blowing down the road.
Right, let's
My
bring in our
darling.
next guest, shall we? We love this guy, top shelf guy. Welcome, Miss
Hey!
Amanda. Why don't you do the honours on this one?
Oh, let's do the honours. Right. Fan of the show, friend of our show, everything. He's big Arsenal, Mr. Alan Algar. Welcome to the show.
All right, Al.
we doing?
How are you, mate?
We're
What an
good, but you look very
introduction. Thank
tense,
you.
like you're not moving. Look.
Thank you. What an introduction. Can you see me now?
He's James
Yeah.
Bond, isn't it? Alan is James Bond.
He is. He's our
face
James
it.
Bond.
Yeah, he is, definitely.
I've gone with
Um,
the roll neck jumper today, so yes.
we-
yeah,
we- We dig it. We dig it. What's your tipple, Alan? If you're at the bar, what drink are you having?
I'm a gin and tonic person. I've got with that
Mm.
fashion of having G&Ts, they came back into fashion just
They
about
did,
the
didn't
time
they?
I, quite liked them. So, yeah, I've done all that sort of gin tour around town and stuff like that. Yeah, I really do.
Very nice.
Other than that, obviously a beer, but
Well, look, Alan, you and I have gone back and forth a little bit. I think you and I are on the same page when it comes to the Arsenal at the moment. I think we've talked about on the show the last few episodes that it's okay to criticise Mr. Mikel Arteta. You've lived a little bit like Amanda and Casey and myself through the George Graham years. I'm not going to be cheeky and say maybe a little bit before the George Graham years, but you've seen it. You've seen the ups and downs. What's been your biggest concern over the last few games and after the loss to Aston Villa?
do you know what? Just before the loss to Aston Villa, I was trying to justify, and I know you guys picked up on it on the previous show, but I was trying to justify to people that if you don't question people, even when things are going right, if you just don't question all the little bits in between, you leave yourself with no margin of error. And it's exactly what happened under Arsene Wenger. It's completely what happened under Arsene Wenger. He had this reputation in the transfer market that he'd never sign a bad player. He had this reputation that he would always send his team out and they would entertain. He had this reputation that he always was one step ahead of the game, and you'd read all the headlines saying that he had transformed football in this country. What happens then is, if you give someone that kind of praise without any kind of analytical judgment, I think they start to believe it themselves. And towards the end, you saw some of the stuff that he was doing, like saying, well, we don't need these quality players. We don't need Vieira. We don't need players like that. We're gonna do it on a shoestring budget, and we create stars. We don't buy them, and all stuff like that. And people lap it up. So one thing that I was really keen to do here, as well as really supporting Arteta and wanting him to get it right, the one thing that I knew everyone had to do is that if he got even the minutest thing wrong, it's okay to say it. It's okay to say, I didn't quite enjoy that today, or I thought he got that wrong. And nobody was doing it. They were so cornered after the debacle under Unai Emery that nobody wanted to question it. And it became a bit Emperor's New Clothes. And, after each, even when we've been lucky, no one was going to say anything. And that's where we find ourselves now. And to those people, I think Sunday actually came as a surprise, which is mad, really.
So what do you want to ask KC or us?
Or any of us.
Any of us? Oh, he's frozen in time.
Oh.
Here he is. He's back. You there, Alan? He may be frozen in time. That's
missed my
okay.
long rant, did you?
Yeah, no, we heard your rant.
it.
We heard your rant. We heard your rant. Yeah. Jump in with your questions, Al.
Oh.
Right.
I think my first question is if Unai Emery had been the manager this season, if he'd been the manager this season, and had the previous season that he had as his first season, would people be calling for his head now, do you think?
Go on, Casey.
Go on, Kev. I know you're itching.
Again, I'm itching for this one. Cheers, Al. Again, all these hypothetical if Unai Emery was the manager for a season and a half, and it got steadily worse. He had the great opportunity the first season to qualify for the Champions League on two fronts, and we failed it in the end. We had a decent season. I'm not going to say we didn't. We had a decent season, but when it really came down to the crux, let's get back into the Champions League, and that's going to change our fortunes. We should have done it in the league, especially Crystal Palace and Brighton at home. We fluffed our lines, and then in the Europa League final, well, it all went downhill, and we couldn't pick it up again the next season. And then we had infighting in the dressing room, Mesut Ozil issues with Emery, 5 captains. And, it just went from bad to worse, didn't it? So, unfortunately, he lost his job. So, we could speak hypothetical if, would he have... But, unfortunately, he at the time, he didn't do the job the correct way in the end. So, I think it would have gone the same way.
I think when you look at the Premier League records, Al, and you compare the two, Unai's record is superior currently. The difference that I think we have with Mikel and the patience that a lot of fans are showing is because we won the FA Cup. If we hadn't won the FA Cup, I think it would be really toxic right now. Far more toxic than it is for some of the percentage of fans that are questioning Mikel Arteta. But winning does breed a certain happiness. And, I said on the show, Al, and I don't know if you agree, but, we lost Alan. But, 4 FA Cups in the last 6 years, guys, is not bad going. But I would sacrifice an FA Cup this year to just get us competitive and challenging for the Premier League. That is an unpopular opinion with some and a popular opinion with others. I know, look at Casey's face.
Sophie, I've got to come at you with this. So are you saying, I've got to say this.
Mm-hmm.
If Arsenal were challenging for the top 4 and missed out on the last day of the season, you would take that above an FA Cup?
No, that's not what I said.
Yeah, go on. You said, go on.
I said I would sacrifice winning a 5th FA Cup in 7 years to finish second in the Premier League.
It's not what you said. That's not what you said.
I said to be competitive. Well, finishing second is competitive, is it not? Remember Jose Mourinho? He said finishing second was the greatest achievement he's ever had as a coach at Manchester United. And looking back, the crazy man was right.
Yeah, but we're not talking about Manchester United. We're talking about this Arsenal. And competitive is challenging. Competitive isn't finishing in a position. So I just want to get that across.
Okay, so I would love...
You would sacrifice a FA Cup for a top 4 spot. I get that.
This season, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fair
Alan,
enough.
but any
would
season.
You guys? Well, Alan,
Not
would you do? Would you, Alan? Would you sacrifice an FA Cup to finish top 4 this season? James Bond has frozen. Okay, man, go on, Alan.
What? I think a lot of people have. I think a lot of people have mistook this FA Cup thing with people saying that it's just not worthy of winning. We had 8 seasons fielding pretty much reserve teams in that competition under Wenger until he started winning it again towards the end of his reign. I think it's actually wonderful, but it is a one-off. And I think the league is your bread and butter, and you really do need, and you show the quality of the team via your league position and your league performances. And I don't think you can compare the two. I think you do have to treat them separately, and I don't think it's an either or. And that's why the double is quite a rare thing, to win the league and the quite a ring.
It's a huge achievement. Amanda, what you got?
But I'm just thinking now, and Casey and I do agree on this, actually, and Sophie doesn't. You don't win a trophy for coming second, third or fourth. And that's what you're remembered for over the history books, over the years in the history books, sorry. And that's what you're there to play football, is to win trophies. So this top 4 thing came in when Sky came in. They made it the top 4 race, and then Champions League and Premier League. It's rubbish. When I was growing up in the 80s, we had 3 cups to go for in the domestic league. The League Cup, which was the Milk Cup, the FA Cup, and Division 1 Championship. And to me, that's how I was brought up. If you're going to tell me that I'd rather win the lose the FA Cup or not, come third or win the FA Cup all day long, FA Cup.
I would sacrifice FA Cup, PG. I want to win
know
the
you would.
Europa. I want to win Europa League. I would love to win the Europa.
But
For
if it
me,
means
that's
no
the
trophy,
one.
then I'd rather have the FA Cup than no trophy. Then coming third and going, okay, well, we've improved. Brilliant. But I'd rather win the FA Cup, thanks.
Yeah, but we've won it 4 times in 6 years. It's just like, anyway, let's move on to another question, shall we?
Sophie, do you know how many teams would swap
I know.
one FA Cup? Wow.
Well, that's because they haven't won it 4 times in 6 years. So I'm a little bit spoiled, right? I want something different.
That's right.
If we can win Europa League and get back into the Champions League and and be European,
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. I'm not
we all
saying
agree on that one.
But not just coming third with nothing else. No. Al, have you got any more questions for us? Over to James Bond.
James Bond is on a
I
mission.
have got one. Should we abandon our policy? Of signing cast-offs from other
Chelsea?
big Premier League clubs?
That's my answer. Over to you guys.
Go on.
Well, who are you referring to as cast-offs?
I think Willian,
Sylvester will be one of them.
No, but hold on, Willian is the
Dallas.
cast-off. Willian is the cast-off. They offered him a contract.
Peter
Don't
Cech,
just have it right.
Willian.
He's not. Yeah. But Willian ain't a cast-off. They offered him a contract, but they couldn't meet terms. So let's have that right.
David Luiz.
I think he means someone like Mikel Silvestre, that sort of player.
Mikel
Gallas.
Gallas did all right for us at stages.
Oh yeah.
I think beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah.
I think there's maybe a little bit of snobbery with some of these Arsenal fans, but you know what? We haven't got a good squad. We haven't got a squad that is consistent enough. So we need players who have proven to be able to consistently perform over a season. And you know what? Over a season, you do not play well every week.
Agree.
You don't play well every week, and you're going to have your tough times.
Oh, look, here's a list from Paramod, one of our favourites here. Gallas, Luis, Cech, Gallas twice. I think you put him on there just to emphasise KC. Silvestre. Yeah, I agree with Amanda. Like, that could have been one of the worst ever cast-offs in the history of transfers. Right, we got Al back, but we're going to... Al, do you have any other questions for us?
And it's all gone silent over there.
All right, let's go to. I have a question, Amanda. Do you have one from the chat?
Okay, so someone called Trust the Process. Are fans realistic to say Arteta out? No.
We just answer that. No. Come on.
I mean, you know, the funny thing is, the fan base who say Arteta out, Arteta hasn't even been in the job 1 year.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. Soph, what do you think?
As much as, it's okay to criticize him after bad performances, but this is ridiculous. The guy's only been in charge since December. He's won the FA Cup. He's won the Community Shield. He beat a strong Liverpool side, barring Trent Alexander-Arnold and Jordan Henderson. Let's keep it real for a little bit. We know that we have problems, and all we want is for him to adapt. Really, now as a manager is to show some evolution himself. He's asking for evolution of the players, but now he really needs to evolve as a manager himself. So, yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, got another question for you from Jose Jimenez again. What is everyone's favourite kit and why? Go on, Kev. What's your favourite kit?
Well, we know Kev's answer, no?
Well, no, not really. I mean, obviously any of the 70s and 80s kits I absolutely loved. But I've got to go with, the Chevron kit, the bruised banana kit.
Yeah.
That kit, it wasn't everybody's favourite to start with, but it soon, because the team performed in it, it soon grew on a lot of the Arsenal fan base. And it's just, we were the first team to ever have anything like that. You know what I mean? We were just trendsetters, man. That was the kit. That was a real nice kit.
But at the time, many people didn't like it. It's
That's
really
what I said.
weird. Yeah, it's more popular now than ever before.
Yeah.
I love it. At the time, I wasn't sure, if I'm honest, but I love it. I've ordered my new phone case from Shewa Shop, and I've had it for a long time on my other phone. As soon as I got this new phone today, I was like, I've ordered it because I've got to have my bruised banana back on my phone.
I love the 71 kit because that was the year I was born as well. And we all know what we did in 71. I love that. And still to this day, I wear that like a lot. And then for me, I don't know why, but I think everyone knows why, the O2 kit, I mean, holds lots of fond memories. Just going to the games, Highbury, just that team, everything about it. Just loved it, especially the away kit, the yellow. I just love that yellow shirt. Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, Al, thank you so much for coming on. We know you've got problems with your internet. Hopefully next time we can get it sorted and you can come on for a bit longer. Oh,
Not good.
No, you need to move around or get there. Oh, bye, Al.
Bye, Al.
bless
Take care,
him.
mate. Cheers.
Okay, so I've got another question from I did see it. Right, from our friend FIFA boy Darren. I'm into music like my fly. What's your favourite music? Right, Soph, what's your favourite music? Tell the listeners who you really are.
You know, I love music, period. I love old school. I love from Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. Depends on what mood I'm in.
Yeah.
You know, like if I'm having a little bit of a cocktail and friends and we're warming up the evening, it's Sammy Davis Jr. It's a little Ella Fitzgerald. It's some old school stuff. You know, if it's Friday night and it's disco at the does anyone say disco anymore? I don't think so.
Oh, we do. Yeah.
You're talking to disco, man.
Yeah, DISCO.
A little
DISCO.
with a little Donna Summer, right? And then, you know, when you're in that kind of mood, it's Oasis, that brilliant What's the Story, Morning Glory album and stuff like that. So I like a little bit of everything. And then at night when I need to go to bed, I listen to London Grammar.
Who's that?
They're a British band. They're really cool.
Oh.
They're like, Tony introduced me to them. Superb band. They've got some really mellow tunes, Amanda. I'll send you a link.
Oh, I need mellow, yeah.
Yeah. And I do love a little bit.
All right.
I have to say, Too Extreme RKO, every now and again, living in the US, when you're out with some friends, a little bit of country, you can get a little bit wild and a little bit
of line
country.
dancing. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Right, Kev.
For me, it's obviously a bit of reggae, a bit of old school 80s soul. I love the 80s soul. You know, I have a Funky Friday. Every Friday, I put an old school soul tune on. I love my disco, Studio 54, that type of on those days. I still love the Gap Band, Adam. You know it makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
You know, going back to Randy Crawford. And all those guys.
You're a soul boy, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a soul boy. You know what I mean? I am a soul boy.
Are.
But I do listen to all different stuff. I had my house tunes. So whenever I'm training, I listen to all my house tunes. You know, all those old school. I'm surprised to see your suitcase at the door. You know, all them tunes. All those tunes. I'm loving it.
Do you know what, Kev? I want to go clubbing now.
I know.
I'm
drinking water. We should have had a champagne bar today or something.
My first ever concert was the Fatback Band at Hammersmith Palais, and it was I Found Lovin' is one of my favourite all time.
Tune.
That and Somebody Else's Guy by what's her name?
Jocelyn Brown.
Jocelyn Brown. Those two were my songs from the 80s. I loved everything.
What about
Luther Vandross? Every song.
Never too much.
Yeah, but I went to see George Benson 4 times at Wembley, Diana Ross, everything. But I go from really being eclectic, like Barbara Streisand is just, I love the Carpenters. These people on our chat won't even know what I'm talking about. Oh, I love them.
Did you guys ever see Luther in the Round? Did you ever see him at the concert in the Round, Luther? The one.
Yeah. I've seen, and Vandross was brilliant. Also, Alexander O'Neill, I used to love
Oh
that.
my God, I
my
used to love him.
Oh, but you know,
Don't criticize Arteta.
yeah, no. If you were here tonight, it's just my song.
Yeah.
And also, then it would change. I absolutely flipping loved Oasis, and then it just grew different. And I love all different songs. But now, when I go walking, I've got a playlist of tunes from Ministry of Sound because I have to have that.
Oh my
beat.
God! Did you used to party there?
No,
I did.
I didn't actually. I didn't go there.
I
Oh
did.
my God.
But
Wicked.
I used to go to the Ritzy in Tottenham. I'll never forget. There were so many Arsenal boys there. It was brilliant because it was banging Tottenham High Road. And then I used to go to the Camden Palace on a Friday night.
Oh yeah,
it was
that
one
was
of
top.
my best nights. Oh, I loved it. Always there on a Friday. And the place in Chinkford. Oh my
Faces.
God. No, Faces
Faces
is where I
was
live
in
now.
Ilford.
Where I've always lived. Faces, before Faces, it used to be. Oh my God! I used to go there before Faces because I'm
I don't
older,
remember it
aren't I?
before Faces.
At the Charlie
Like the
Chan's.
roundabout.
Charlie
No,
Chan's.
Charlie
I
Chan's.
used to live in Charlie Chan's.
Yeah,
and again, used to see a lot of Arsenal. And then I went to Rara's in Islington.
I've only heard of Charlie Chan's.
Oh, of course you have.
So time out to all our international listeners. We're doing a little bit of a London nostalgia thing here,
I'm
which is
Essex,
wonderful.
but based in not far from London. And the Ritzy on a Saturday night. And it was funny. Someone we've had on here before, Richard, my old friend from obviously when I was 15. Ritzy put on a sports night that everyone had to go and sports stuff. And there was this one boy in an Arsenal top. I went up to him and I went, "What are you doing? We're in Tottenham High Road." And he went, "I don't care, I'm wearing my Arsenal top." And I said something stupid like, "Do you support Arsenal?" I'm like, something idiot. And from that moment, we've been friends ever since.
Did you make out? I'm
not saying a word, but he's been my friend ever since.
I love that.
Yeah,
Did you hear the song by Whitney Houston, "I Want to Dance with Somebody"?
Oh, I love that. I loved her. Oh my God, Whitney as well.
Oh, and I know every word, even though
What a
I can't
legend.
sing.
We love Whitney.
I can't.
Sing along.
All right,
Sing along.
just to bring it back, I love those questions, PG. But if I don't post this for old school Gooner, who's posted it like several times in the chat, I've got to put it up, all right? Because he said, "You guys keep missing my point and my question." So here you go, old school Gooner. This is you for Kev. From age 9 to 96, I was at every home game and some away, and Super Kev and Lee Dixon was always the first two out in the warm-up, and it was superstition. I was superstitious when I played. So I think he wants to know, KC, if you're superstitious. I'm not a superstitious person, but sometimes I am. PG, I'm not sure if you are, but KC.
No, but hey, what a great tune! Very superstitious. Stevie Wonder. Great song.
Stevie Wonder, I loved as well.
Right. No, it's not that we were superstitious. Lee Dixon always wanted to go out early, so did I. Because me being an Arsenal fan, I wanted to be out on the pitch and soak all the atmosphere up all the time. So that's why I wanted to go out first.
I went to Epping Country Club.
I just
Epping
have
Forest Country Club.
Yes, Paul, definitely. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Sorry,
Casey.
go on.
Thanks, girls. Because I was an Arsenal fan, Lee Dixon always wanted to go out early. I always wanted to go out because I loved being at Highbury, didn't I? I'm an Arsenal fan. I used to stand on the terraces. So, D-Train, wicked tune as well. Wicked artist. So, that's why we went out. It wasn't really a superstition. It was just something we done.
Amanda, I love this question from Nalitsuba. Do you guys love horror movies?
Can't watch them.
I do not love horror movies at all.
I jump at everything. Ask Carl. Every single thing, even an advert sometimes. So
the worse,
horror.
The worse, the better.
Like
Silence of the Lambs. I watched like that.
Really? The Thing was a great film.
Oh no.
The Thing was a great film.
I like thrillers, but like thrillers, like Fatal Attraction, that type of thriller.
Oh God, when she was in the mirror and he was rubbing the mirror, I was like,
the rabbit, boiling the rabbit, and all that stuff.
Oh no,
How
God.
about The Usual Suspects?
Oh, best film
love
ever,
that
but that
movie.
wasn't scary. I love that. Very clever.
No. SD said about thrillers. So that was a mine film, wasn't it? It was a
it wasn't a thriller. I didn't jump, no.
And a great twist, at the end. Yeah, brilliant twist at the end. One of the, still to this day, when you guys watched The Sixth Sense, and everyone in chat, like, be honest, did you figure it out when you watched The Sixth Sense? Because
I had to have it explained to me, even at the end. At the end, when the credits come up, I went,
is that it?
I don't really understand. And you know what's really weird? And my brother still to this day says within 5 minutes he got it.
Barry.
Yeah, get stuck in, Casey.
Yeah, yeah. Out in Portugal, 105,000 fans in that stadium. Little Arsenal contingent. Nice through ball from Rocky. Touch, score. Yeah.
And that follows on to here. What was Rocky like in person, Casey? Top shelf, right?
Unbelievable human being. Unbelievable friend. Unbelievable teammate. Unbelievable brother. But best of all, unbelievable player. What a player he was. He was so good. He was good at everything. He can play mid-centre. He could play right. He was just Mr. Arsenal, man. He was such a fantastic guy. Really is.
Awesome. All right, Amanda, what you got next?
Where's our next guest? Is he not in the room yet?
Do you know what I'm going to do? Maybe I'll ask this question. Oh, yes. Hold on one second. We have, by popular demand, we have the return of Mr. James Johnston.
Evening.
I swear your hair's got longer since Sunday.
Probably has. That's the thing with hair, Amanda. It grows.
Right. Before anyone says anything, James, do you remember when? So James used to sit in front of me at Highbury, Kev, when he was a little boy, and he only told me that about a couple of years ago, didn't you? I didn't know.
I thought you'd remember me, but maybe
you remember my dad, don't you?
I loved Mr. Kelvin. Yeah, lovely man.
James, I have a question for you.
Go for it.
Could you hear the mouth behind you? Tell the truth.
Abusing you, no, because sadly that was before my time.
Right.
But afterwards, yeah, I mean...
there you go. There you go. I love you, James.
Oh, shut up, Kevin. Hello, James. Welcome to the show.
Hearing this music chat, people are going to look and think...
You're AC/DC.
Yeah, he must like... I like exactly what you guys are talking about. You talk about Alexander O'Neill. I had Saturday Love on earlier today. Whilst I was doing
love it. Love that.
I love Saturday Love. Right, James, you got questions for us?
Someone's got a question for me. This is unbelievable.
Well, they didn't put it up, but you go ahead. This is you got the floor. Okay. Because you didn't have KC last time. So
I know. Kevin, it's for you, my friend.
Okay.
And I've done my homework as well. I'm prepped.
Good man.
Right. Kevin, what is your current thoughts on Aubameyang as captain for the Arsenal? A lot's been said after his goal drought and his attitude after the weekend when he just stormed straight down the tunnel. You had David Hillier as your captain during the Youth Cup. You then had Tony Adams. You had, I think it was Ali Mocklin at Leicester. You had Stuart Pearce. You had Stuart Pearce at Forest. You had Watson at Everton, and you've been captain at Everton and West Brom yourself. Do you feel Aubameyang's still the best man for the job, or do you think there's a more natural and stronger leader for the job in the team, such as Xhaka or David Luiz? And also, an added question to that is, do you feel the role of captain's been diminished in football lately? Because for me, I personally feel the last great Premier League captain was Vincent Kompany, and no one at the moment at any of the other clubs are at that level.
I think I'll answer you the second part first. I think when you look at Van Dijk at Liverpool, I think he's kind of going a little bit more old school, that dominant player, the best player, who's really standing up and showing himself. I think that stands out. I think Manchester United have tried to do it with Harry Maguire, but it hasn't quite worked out that way. With Aubameyang, I think Aubameyang, Aubameyang over the last few seasons has been our best player. He's our most influential player. So it's not a problem. It's not a problem giving him the armband. The problem we have at Arsenal is the supporting cast. As you mentioned, there was 2 or 3 captains like a Xhaka or David Luiz in the team. But you need a few players to take the mantle as well and act like captains. Whether you have the armband or not, it doesn't matter. You need people to be able to pull people around from their position. And I just don't think Arsenal quite have that at the moment. And it shows, because you look at the great Arsenal teams, there were players all over the pitch who were strong, who could, who could influence the team. So I don't think it's an issue for Aubameyang. I think the reason why Aubameyang stormed down the tunnel is because Arsenal were so poor, Arsenal was so bad, and it's another game that goes by where he never even had a look at the goalkeeper with a chance. He never really done anything. So I think it's a tough time for Arsenal at the moment, and Arteta has to find a way.
Thank you. I appreciate
I
it.
feel like James is just going to burst into song with his big fancy mic. I love it.
No,
And
got
I
this little
would
thing,
do
look.
anything for love, but I won't do that.
He's a favourite as well. He's a favourite.
What else you got, James? Keep going, mate.
Go
It's
on.
your floor. Go
Oh,
on.
goodness gracious. Cool, you're putting me on the spot now.
No, I've got
So-
a question for James.
Ooh.
What's your favourite 2 moments at Highbury?
Meeting me.
Oi! Hey, James,
Okay.
you said that without moving your lips, mate.
I know. So the first one, obviously, it's got to be, and it was against where no, you weren't there yet. I don't think it was Tony Adams versus Everton.
Right.
Obviously, growing up, he was my favourite player. Always had a massive respect for him, just for how much he loved the club. And obviously, you've been there with him. You can you can tell thousands of stories about how much he loves the club. But for me, it was the fact of everything that happened in that guy's life. I mean, he went to Nick, where I live. I'm not far away
Yeah.
from where he spent time. I'm a Chelmsford boy, so obviously I know all the backstory. And just the fact that he was up there and the ball in from Boldy's superb. And just when he put his arms out to celebrate, it was like all of that had just, you know what I mean? When people talk about epiphany.
Laid it to bed, didn't he? Laid it all to
Exactly.
rest.
And
yeah.
it was just, whoosh. And then the eruption, I mean, I haven't got it behind me here, but I've got it framed on the wall on the other side. It's one of the best things I've ever seen. And then a second one that's funny is Arsenal played Tottenham and we got the penalty and Thierry Henry got fouled. And Thierry Henry had a thing where if he was the one that got fouled, he wouldn't take the penalty. You talk about the superstitions. And I remember Lauren picked the ball up and everyone sat around me was like, oh my God, Lauren, no. We need to win this game. We're trying to win the title here. And everyone was going nuts. And I remember turning around and speaking to my dad and just saying to these people, do you not watch the African Cup of Nations? Like, do you not keep tabs with this guy? And they're like, what? I went, this guy's a prolific penalty taker. I went, he's rifling this in. And they're like, no, he's a right back. Right backs don't take penalties. I was like, Julian Dix was a centre half, wasn't he? He's taking penalties.
Left back, yeah.
That's it, yeah. And I was like, trust me, Lauren's got this. And then when he scored, just everyone just picked me. I was about 10. So everyone's lifting me up like, oh, yeah, that was,
Nice one.
sensational.
Nice one.
Yeah, that
That's
was a big
good.
moment.
Right. Well, I've got a question that I want to ask you all. From Pramod.
Pramod, yes, our boy.
Pramod. Do we think the lack of ex-footballers in the director board of club is affecting the recruitment strategy of the club? Also, do you guys think having an ex-professional on the board would help? I do, 100%. And I think it would bring us closer to the fans as well. Who?
Edu.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
I mean I don't mean that board. I mean
That's on the
higher board.
recruitment side.
She means
On
the
the
executive.
I mean the
Amanda means the
executive.
executive board. That's
Someone like Bob Wilson.
I love Bob. Who doesn't love Bob? Oh my
Someone
God.
like who
Best
we would all
encounter
love
outside Highbury Corner.
and admire.
Like
Yeah.
Tony Adams, you mean? Like who has the best interest of the club and was
Someone who
completely
is Mr.
ostracized?
Arsenal. Someone who we all see as Arsenal through and through. Even Kev. Kev, if you get the job, can you hire
Yes,
me as
Kev.
your assistant?
No, Kev.
Do you know the problem? Do you know the problem with that? And that's a really good question,
I was
Pramod.
being serious now.
No, I have to be serious because
Yes, go on.
Yeah.
it will scare the board to have someone on who has Arsenal's best interests at heart. Because for all these years, look at all these years where we've needed that centre half and we've needed that centre midfielder, and it never got addressed. And think about it. People saying Arteta out and all this crap. Arteta is the only one that's actually tried to rectify that. All the years of Wenger, he never done it anymore. Emery came in and never fixed it.
I think
Arteta's only been in under a year, and he's recognised it straight away. He's trying to fill the gaps. That's what he's trying to do. So I think the old guard will scare the hierarchy.
Yeah.
well,
That's true.
Look at them already. They've all, Amanda, you know better than most people because you get invited to most event things. They've completely cut all them out.
Yeah, there isn't
There's
any.
no real engagement from this
No.
current hierarchy towards fans whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay, they put a lot of stuff on Twitter and they're utilizing YouTube and videos a lot more than they ever have before. But in terms of physical, I think like they've got rid of the AGMs or whatever it is and all the other members meetings and everything else. Okay, you can't have any at the moment with the circumstances, but they've completely wiped them out altogether. And I can't remember the guy's name, but didn't he say, oh, if you want to ask him a question, read his quotes in the paper tomorrow or something, didn't he? About Kroenke.
This is a good shout from Rishi, who was on just earlier. David O'Leary, super classy. I thought Amanda shout Bob Wilson, Tony Adams, players like that, people like that, I think really important. Amanda, you've got a really good one for us before we let James go and bring on.
I have.
Someone
And this is
else here.
interesting.
I like this one.
So Billy Kit Kat. Hello, Billy Kit Kat. I love that name.
Let's try and find Billy up here. It's
If you
moving so
had to
fast.
support another team.
Scottish Billy.
Who?
Yes.
Oh, is it Scottish Billy?
Yes.
If you had
Yeah.
to support another team, who would it be and why? I'm going to go to James first.
Oh, God. So family-wise, I would pick Celtic because that's just easy. If I had to stay domestic where I am, it'd be Dagenham and Redbridge.
Yeah, me.
Easy.
Yeah, no.
What do you
Right.
know?
Kev.
It would probably be Crystal Palace
I was
because
thinking that.
because South London, where I used to go and watch them when I used to obviously play South London, from South London, and I used to go and watch them in the 70s when I couldn't go to Arsenal because I couldn't afford it. So
Yeah.
I used to go and watch Crystal Palace. So it probably would have been Palace.
Soph.
Okay, so don't shoot me, and I'm going to say it out loud because I'm unafraid.
Oh my God. What's she going to say?
She's going to say it.
When I was
No, she
younger,
better not.
when
I'd
I was
kill her.
younger, I really loved watching Liverpool play. I
Oh,
really
that's
did.
all right. Who are you going to say
And
it?
I loved
Tottenham?
I loved Kenny Dalglish. It's
Yeah.
like I had this weird crush on him, to be honest with you. But he was so good. Like that team was so brilliant. And I luckily escaped because my dad's a Man United supporter, my brother's a Tottenham fan, and I totally escaped that thanks to my uncle Zach, as KC knows, and my cousins. But there was something magical about Liverpool growing up. I think it was an aspirational thing, that you wanted to be
Yeah.
and enjoy
Through
that.
the 80s, they were very believable.
So that would be it for me.
Fantastic. Well, mine is Ajax. A, because of Dennis Bergkamp, and B, because I'm a little bit Dutch. Okay? I am. I have Dutch heritage. All the clogs and everything all belong to me.
Have you ever been there?
Yes, I have actually.
Yeah, it's
I've been
good.
to I've been to the dam, but I've also been to on a school trip. And when I landed in Holland, I felt like a little bit of an affinity. And you can't go
on a school trip.
No.
I was going to say, what school's this? Wait a minute,
no, we did a tour of Europe. I didn't like Germany for obvious
That'd be a good
reasons, and then I
school,
loved
James.
Holland.
We'd never have come back if they took us back. Yeah, exactly.
No,
Hilarious.
James, when I had my midlife crisis about 4 years ago, I went to Amsterdam and had loads of fun. It was great.
Yeah, I went. It's great.
And Ajax. And yes, my mother's family are all Dutch. I think my mother is half Dutch, which makes me quarter. If not, she's quarter, and I'm not really. But my mother's family, my grandfather, the only problem is my grandfather, who is Dutch, was a Tottenham season ticket holder, one of the very first. So, yeah. I never met my granddad, bless
What
him.
about here, though, PG? What about here?
Yeah.
Would it be Dagenham and Redbridge?
Do you know what? I think it would
I think
actually
it'd be
late.
Liverpool.
No, it'd be Leighton
Leighton
Orient.
Orient. Yeah,
Yeah,
the old-
because they literally are. They were 10, 15 minutes from where I lived. Dagenham and Redbridge are a bit nearer to me now, but it wouldn't have been Liverpool. No, you know what? I know it sounds really odd, but I used to love Newcastle many years ago because I just thought their fans were brilliant. And I always loved the underdogs. So it would never be Liverpool, it'd be Everton, not because of Kev's here, but it would always be Man City, not United. It was always like that. I
love
always
a bit
wanted
of
the
Everton.
underdogs to win.
I
Yeah,
like a bit of Everton.
we did. They're dirty Everton, aren't they, Kev?
Dirty. Right, we've
Very
got to wrap this
dirty.
up with James, Amanda. We've got to wrap this up with James.
We have, James. Thank you,
No
darling.
worries. Thank you, guys.
Cheers, James.
Take care.
Thanks. Great
We've had
question.
you
Well done,
twice.
Jay.
We've had you twice in a week, aren't
I
you,
know.
Lucky?
Yeah, I know, and that's nice to hear from a woman in lockdown as well. So-
Hello, Sailor.
Yeah, I'll see you in a bit.
Take care.
Cheers, mate.
Bye.
All right, Amanda, I'm going to let you introduce our next guest. We're moving thick and fast. You're listening to the Highbury Squad. This is the fan forum, Ask Anything. After our next guest, we're going to rattle through some quick fire questions for Casey, and we have one question from YouTube that he has to answer before we depart. Okay, here we go, Amanda. Take it away.
Woo! Now there is my girl. That is my girl, Suki. Now,
Hi.
for
Hi,
people that
Suki.
say
Hi,
hello,
Suki.
for people that don't know, Suki and I regularly win. I have to say, win quizzes, Zoom quizzes with lots of people that I don't know that have now all become our friends because of Suki. That
What's
way.
the subject?
Oh, anything. And let me
General,
tell you
general.
something. She is so clever that you are. You and Carl
princess.
and the rest of them.
Princess.
Yes, darling.
Princess. We know who the clever one out of the duo is. Let me tell you.
But let me
Yeah.
tell you one thing.
Go on.
About 3 quizzes now I've won with my one question that I answer, haven't I, Suki?
You
That's
have.
good.
You have. I can't take that away from you.
She
Good.
honestly, I answer one obscure question that no one else does. I don't get the rest of them right, but that just
Well, that's
helps.
the partnership. That's the partnership. That's good.
So I'm used to seeing her on screen. Hello, Suki. Welcome to the
Hi.
Highbury Squad, darling.
Thank you for
Thank you for
having me.
coming on. Have
And
you got
yeah,
any
I guess-
questions?
You
So,
got,
I guess just to explain, since my social life has died a drastic death like everybody else's has, I've had to take to Zoom and answer questions. And Amanda has been recruited to my team, and she's fantastic. I love it.
Oh, she's so nice.
Actually,
You've
I
got
won
the
a
floor.
win.
You've
I
got
won
the
a win.
floor.
So firstly, I guess maybe directed more at Kevin than anybody else, but we're in this situation now where, and I'm keeping my questions current. Great to reminisce about Highbury, but let's get back to reality of where we are today. But we get a lot of criticism about the Emirates being like a library and there's no noise. And I can tell you, as a former employee of Islington Council, the neighbours don't think it's quiet at all. How much does the atmosphere stroke noise, how much does it affect your motivation as a player and the influence it has on the team? At the moment it's all quiet, but everybody's on a level playing field, as it were. But what happens when we get back to normal?
For me, I always believe it's the team that actually generates the energy from the crowd. A lot of the time, it's not the other way around. And a reason being, as a fan, one tackle, one incident could generate so much energy from the crowd. A goal, a super goal can, and that could make the crowd buzz. But just as much as that, a serious mistake can bring doom and gloom. So it's an energy shift. And you're always playing that game. Every time you cross that white line, it is to try and get the fan base on side. And if I'm honest, Arsenal haven't been great at that at the Emirates, because the last great team was at Highbury, and it kind of got pulled apart from Highbury. And we've had some decent sides, etc. But we haven't had a title-winning team. We haven't had a team that has been as consistent as we would like at the Emirates. So I think all of that is to come. And listen, Arsenal fans are still going to be noisy, but it's not quite Highbury. So to get to that, we need a team to lift the fans big time.
So it's
Remember,
not a
Aaron-
case that if you support more or make more noise, the team will do better. That's not true.
No, I don't think that is, because if the team ain't good enough, you can make as much noise as you want. If the team ain't good enough to win the games, then you're not going to keep cheering if the team are losing.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
remember that night at the Emirates when we beat Tottenham 4-2? It was pretty loud that night, wasn't it?
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Man, that was old school Highbury style that night.
When Torreira's goal went in, the roof fell off. The roof come off.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
my
right,
God,
Suki,
yeah.
take it away.
Okay, so I'm going to probably just lower the tone a little bit because that, and I like to. So this is like my COVID equivalent of shag, marry, or kill. So the current squad, would you quarantine forever?
This ain't to me. I know that.
Yes, it is. It's an equivalent
Suki,
version.
this isn't to me. This shag, marry, or kill. I can tell you that much.
It's an equivalent question. The questions are different.
Oh,
So,
Kevin, play along.
who, Kevin included, who would you quarantine forever? Like, just lock them away and that's the end of that. Who would you just put in 2 weeks isolation?
Oh, this is great.
Give the first COVID vaccine to, plus the elixir of eternal life at peak fitness.
Is this out of the three of us?
Oh,
I'd like each of you to kind of give me your thoughts.
Wow, this is so good. Is it safe to answer? You know what? Maybe the chat should answer for us.
no, I'm going to answer.
Go on
I'm
then.
Gonna...
As
Right.
well, I think.
So the elixir of life, I would give to Saka. Current, it would be Saka or Tierney to quarantine for a couple of weeks. Did you say?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at the moment, Lacazette. I think he needs to go for a little bit, and forever. Mustafi. There we go. I've said it.
So this
for
would have
me-
this would have been so much more fun if it was at us three. But go on, Casey.
For me, the elixir would have to be Aubameyang, someone who we know is going to score 20 odd goals a season. The quarantine for 2 weeks. I look at the team and I think to myself, maybe it is Lacazette. Lacazette maybe needs a little quarantine, but the total banishment for me anyway would have to be. You might laugh at this. You seriously might laugh at this, but it'll be Granit Xhaka.
What? My boy.
Yeah, it'll be Granit Xhaka. Yeah.
Why? That's okay. Well, that's your answer. We're going to leave it
That's
at
my
that.
answer.
Okay.
Granit Xhaka.
Okay. So the elixir for me right now is Gabriel. I mean, I'm thinking new signing, exciting. Let's build our. You don't build a team around a defender, but you certainly can build a team with someone like him in it. The 2-week quarantine, I'm going to say, Bellerin, but I want to put him in a dark room, like in that scene from, what's that Jessica Chastain movie? I'm not saying waterboard the guy, but he needs toughening up. You know what I mean?
Slap him around a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
He needs a good meal, needs a little bit of meat again. I get this vegan thing. It's all good and stuff like that.
Gestapo tactic.
But Bellerin could use a little bit of toughness. And then in terms of banishment, there is no other person to banish that is involved in Arsenal Football Club right now other than Mesut Ozil. Boom.
Oh, no.
He's already banished.
Well, he's still there. He's still doing polls, Casey. He's taking polls on,
Do you know what, Kev? She's going to mention Ozil as much as I mention 89. Honestly, she so is.
Hey, listen, Suki asked the question. I'm just giving the answers.
Thank you.
Have you got any more, Sooks?
Kind of it for me. But I wondered, just going back to real life football, we're all missing it. We're desperately missing it. Even us that are mere red members and have to fight for a ticket for somebody, and then you've got to check your work to see whether you can actually make it or not. That's a challenge in itself. But what do you think we as fans should be doing differently when we go back?
I think appreciate. Appreciate. I think the players are going to appreciate the fans more, and I hope the fans appreciate the players more. Do you understand what I mean? Because
it will.
When you're not around it, you miss it so much. So when you do go back, just support the team. Support. And listen, we know things are going to go good and bad at times, but just support the team. That would be brilliant from the fans.
Don't you honestly think, though, that we are going to go back? I mean, I'm a season ticket holder, Sook, so you're going to go back and we are going to appreciate, even if we lose, just to be there. I don't know how long it'll last. A few months, I reckon, because I think if someone starts complaining, we'll go, do you remember when we couldn't come to football? We all wanted to come. I don't, that's what it's going to be like.
Arsenal going to put you through the mill.
We'll all just be like very, very high. I think all football fans around the country will be high on. It'll be buzzing. Whatever match, even if we played someone like Burnley at home. No disrespect, Burnley fans, but it will be buzzing. That's what I think.
I think we're creatures of habit, and we say that we want to change, and we say that we want to, I think we do better ourselves as humans. And I think this year's been a great lesson to us in terms of what's important in life and what isn't. But once we get back into that stadium, if we're playing Tottenham or we're playing Manchester United or Chelsea, our old habits will definitely reappear. And I think the tribalness in us and the football fan in us will come to be. But I don't disagree with PG or KC in that. I think we'll always be more grateful for the opportunity to just be there. So yeah, great question, Suki. She smashed it. Woo!
She has. Well done, babe. Good for you. Thank you so much, darling, for coming on.
Thank you.
And no doubt we'll have a little quiz this weekend.
All right,
take care. Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, darling. Bye.
What a great guest.
I know. All our guests have been brilliant.
Okay, there's some really great questions. PG, I've got to read this question because it might take Casey a little bit of time. It might take me.
I have 10 minutes.
1.5 minutes to read it, but it might take Casey some time. And Casey loves answering the questions with the good and the bad. So I'm just going to read this. This is from Matty A on YouTube, and he was responding to the 5 Tings show that we did with Lee Judges yesterday. So I'm just going to read it, okay? Mm-hmm. Here we go. Good show, but thinking now Casey is becoming too much of a PR spin for Arteta or Tapas Pulis. The part which makes no sense to me is him trying to justify that we didn't want Martinez before that tremendous run he had. Come on, Casey, what are you talking about? How can we back a player before he steps up? I remember in the early 80s when Paul Davis first broke into the team, he wasn't good. He was a skinny kid with a nice touch who was being knocked off the ball too easily, and a lot of fans were thinking he was never going to make it. But he then developed into a brilliant player, so on that basis, we should have sold him to the highest bidder, right? Selling Martinez was an awful decision, one which has set the whole defense 2 steps back. He was one of the main reasons we won the cup, and to not be able to tell the guy he was number 1 after that is an absolute joke. I really think Arteta is going to struggle to turn this around because his man management skills are bad and players will down tool soon. Maybe it's started already. That's a fiery one from Matty A on YouTube.
Matty A, I love it. I love it. Right. Let me pick apart what you're saying. Emmy Martinez was at Arsenal for 10 years. Not 1 year, 10 years. And he has played games. It's not as if he hasn't played. He has played games. I never ever heard Matty A saying, oh, he should be the number 1. Matty A, no. He came through and he had a purple patch just when we needed him to have a purple patch, when Leno, our number 1, got injured. Okay? Did he do fantastically well? 100% he did. Did he make a difference in the team? 100% he did. Was he key to us winning an FA Cup? Yes, he was. Was he key to us winning a Community Shield? Yes, he was. But here's the difference. When Martinez then turns around and says to the manager, he wants to be number 1. He wants to be number 1. The manager's got a decision to make. He wants to start every game. You've paid money to buy a Leno. Leno hasn't done anything wrong. Leno's the one who's got injured. So the manager has to make a decision. Martinez is not going to sit and be a number 2. He's not. So you have to make a decision. Mikel Arteta made a decision, and that is bye-bye Martinez. Now, when we talk about the likes of Paul Davis back in the day, Paul Davis was a homegrown player. It's different. But let's just say a midfielder who Arsenal bought for big money came in, and Paul Davis, the big money signing came in, got injured, and Paul Davis played, and then Paul Davis had a great time. Would people be saying no? Paul Davis stays in the team and not have the top player who the club paid money for? No, it doesn't work like that. And we know the 80s are different to now. And this is the issue with some of the fans. You might not like it, but decisions, players aren't just going to sit around like Paul Davis had to back then. Players know they've got power and they want to go and play. So a decision was made, and that was it. So don't be coming at me, Matty. Don't be coming at me. I'm telling you.
I like Matty.
I like
I know
Matty
you
too,
do.
because I think we talked about it with Lee, and we talked about it with our own selves, that financially you could argue that we capitalized on an asset that was not going to reward or yield ROI at 25 million. So the club made a financial decision there. I think he brings up a really good point, which I'm not sure if I heard you and you addressed, that the defense felt really much more comfortable, it seemed, with Emmy.
Whoa. Let me answer that one. Sorry. Yes. Well said.
Okay.
Before the Aston Villa game, so I have to take it a little bit before, who had the best defensive record in the Premier League? Can I hear Matty? Arsenal. Arsenal had the best defensive record.
Not scoring goals though, Katie.
That's not what the question was. The question was about the defense. So Arsenal had the best defense, Matty. So please, when you're bringing these questions to me, come correct.
And here he is, Matty A, on screen now. Well done, Matty A.
Yeah,
really great question.
Very
Thank
good
you for that
question.
great question.
Very good question. Very
Great
good question.
stuff. And I'm not sure if Lee's talking about you or Emmy or Leno here, but anyway.
He's on about Matty A. He's on about Matty A.
Maybe
he's on about Martinez.
I think he is for sure. I've got a couple more for you from YouTube. I know, Amanda, you're going to have to go in a second, but I did promise these YouTubers that I would get. We've had a tremendous response on YouTube too. So here's the scoop from James Wager. Lacazette is going through a bad stage, a real bad spell, but still doing more than Aubameyang, but nothing mentioned. Under Emery, Lacazette was player of the season. Why?
Why was he player of the season?
Why did he excel under Emery and he's not able to excel under Mikel? I think is what James is asking.
No, I just think, I think I mentioned this yesterday. Emery was more all-out attack, and as we remember, you could drive the QE2 between our midfield and back line straight through. We couldn't really defend. We could attack, and we were quite fluid in attack, but defensively, midfield and defense were all over the place. And Mikel Arteta knows he has to listen. If you want to win leagues, you've got to address the back first. You have to, because we are not good enough to be a Liverpool and go from the front to the back. We aren't good enough, so we have to address the back first. And because he doesn't have the money to go out and make wholesale changes, he had to do it slowly but surely. And remember, he hasn't even been there a season yet, but he's already made those key decisions, bringing in a centre-half and a centre midfielder. So he's building from the back, a bit like George Graham, build from the back, moving forward.
Also, I think Emery was more, he was more of a risk taker going forward. Yeah, he was more attack-minded too. Okay, so here's one from Fabcam, who's very one of a really engaging listener on YouTube as well. Hi, Fabcam. Hope you listen to this on the playback. Because we talked about the team, a lot of fans have said that Kroenke, Amanda as well, haven't backed Mikel. But he's saying, how is Partey, Gabriel, Saliba, Pepe, Ceballos, Tierney, Aubameyang not enough backing from the owners? The problem is Arteta. And is he good enough to be manager, or is he an assistant more of a major club? How many more hours without an open play of goal for people to realise this? So clearly Fab is not too much of a Mikel fan. Amanda, the Cronkies definitely have put their money where their mouth is. You can't say they haven't invested in the club, right?
No, they have invested in the club, but it's just not going well at the moment, and people need patience, I'm afraid. That's that. They just need patience. He's got to find the system that works for him with the players that he's got. We don't know, actually, because, look, we're in November now. We've got the January transfer window that I won't be discussing as per usual. But you never know who's going to go then and who's going to come in. And obviously, they'll get Ozil off the wage bill next April or whenever this season ends. I don't even know. So, yeah, you can't say they haven't. And I think they're trying to build a structure with Edu, Arteta. They're getting rid of a few people. I think they are trying to change it.
We're in transition, aren't we, PG?
We are.
Whether fans, do you know what? Fans don't like to admit it.
These two are going to start the transition club. Here we go.
But the thing is, we are.
But people don't want to admit it. We are in How many years have we been crying out for a centre back and a centre midfielder? Please answer me that. And it never got addressed under Wenger. It never got addressed under Emery. And for the first time, it's got addressed finally.
Yeah.
But it's going to take a bit of time for the guys to find their feet, for everybody to come together, because good players like playing with good players. And we haven't got enough good players because we're a bit of a muchness at the minute. We've got new players, we've got old players, and we've got young players. But we're not meshed together yet.
Okay. Now, it's been an epic 1 hour and 31 minutes. We have absolutely loved. We could go on for 3 hours doing this. And I think what we're going to do is definitely. We used
PG
to do.
couldn't, I tell you.
No, PG couldn't. PG's ready for bed.
I loved all the fans coming on.
We used to do the fan stuff a lot. We're going to be doing this once a week now. So if we haven't answered your questions, we will. But a general question that came in before we sign off. Amanda's bedtime is 9:10. So I think I'm in the threshold here, is when we're not watching football, right, and we're not engrossed in the beautiful game, what are some of our favourite hobbies or favourite things to do? PG.
Well, at the moment, I love my walks and I really enjoy that. And I go early morning, pre-work, because I'm working from home now. I'm really enjoying that. I absolutely love watching TV, though. I'm a real Netflix, Amazon, Sky girl. And I enjoy spending time with my boyfriend as well, who unfortunately is 50 next week and we can't do anything. So I would like to say a big special...
Oh, I'm sure you'll find a few things to do.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I've got to be nice to him that day, all day, for 24 hours. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to spending some time with him. We have a laugh, and he's a Gooner, as you know. And I'd like to wish him a brilliant, happy 50th birthday for next Friday.
He's a lovely, lovely guy, Carl.
He
lovely
is.
Guy.
Tomorrow week. He is, and he'll be so embarrassed that I'm doing this because he's totally opposite to me. And I asked him to come on the show tonight, and he said no. He said, I'm happy to support you in the wings, but not for me from the wings. So, yeah, just generally, and my 17-year-old son, who is just lovely, hates football.
I had to put it up.
Right. Yes, Lee Judge is a rider. Walking and riding.
My walking and my bike riding, I love. Yes, I got a bike. I am going to kill Lee Judges when I see him eventually. He's lucky that the pandemic is on. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, and I do love social media. I do love to have a laugh. Big birthday to Prince Gooner.
I like that one too. Anything else, Amanda, in your little hobby zone?
No.
All right, Casey, you work all the time, but
yeah,
go on.
Everything revolves around football, because obviously even in lockdown, There's me connecting with the fans. I think we, as a Highbury squad and myself, we made a pact, didn't we, a couple of seasons ago, that we're during the "Who Are You? We Care Do You" situation in pre-season, that we're going to be more interactive with the fan base, and we're going to reach out to the fan base. So all this progression was always going to be coming, and it's just so happens that this second lockdown actually really triggered us to do this, guys, didn't it? You know,
Yeah.
I think the fan base deserves it, and I love the fact that everybody's got different opinions, everybody's happy to talk about it, everybody's got passion about it as well. Dan Potts, love it. Keep riding, PG. Love it.
You know what, KC, you keep going, because you're right. This was our vow.
But I also love, obviously, family, children, and I like educating myself. I'm usually a Netflix type of guy, but I've not even had the opportunity to go on Netflix, because there's things I'm educating myself on as well. You know, even editing video, because I'm doing stuff with fans, etc., etc. So I've got a lot going on in my life right now, and it's great. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I love talking football. You know, I've been working in the film and entertainment industry for like 25 years now. It's been my passion, just being around incredible people doing amazing things and learning so much from everyone. So I'm a sponge. I love reading. I love digesting. But away from this all, my partner, my right hand, my better half, Tony, incredible. We try to have a real happy home and, you know, happy life, and do things together that, you know, just make us smile, especially in these difficult times. And we love our dogs. Casey and Amanda know just what a dog lover we are, and that my dogs are my kids and my family. Little Vinny Vieira championing the Arsenal with me every single weekend when we watch. So for me, it's all about that. Living in California, I miss London so much, but being able to come over and watch games is cool. But living in California, it's a really cool lifestyle. And, you know, that's walks on the beach, hanging out, fresh air, biking, riding a motorcycle down PCH. That's me.
You know what you're doing?
Actually, I ride on the back of Tony. So
you know what you're doing? You're living the dream.
Yes. You know, in some weird ways, we're all living the dream, because health is everything, right? And we've learned that this year, that having our health is the most important thing in the world. And Kevin said it best. And Amanda and I, we started this podcast a few years ago, and we really just kind of, it was a hobby, and now it's become, you know, like really part of our daily life, as Casey said, especially in lockdown. Since we've got our YouTube channel going, especially, you know, we've really kind of just been able to take it to another level. So, you know, for us, we appreciate you. Without you guys, there would be no show. And this is why, for me, I don't know about you guys, this is one of my favorite shows that we've done in a long time.
It's so fun, honestly. And it's lovely that people wanted to come on. And we've had loads of people ask us as well. So just keep DMing us at the Highbury Squad, and we'll do another show next week, because we have to keep each other sane in this pandemic. Keep well, keep safe. There's no football on this weekend really to watch. I don't watch internationals. So we'll be back.
No, if you're not watching internationals, you join us.
That's right.
Join us.
Well, Lee Judges just said that our show is much more entertaining than the England game. Which
I bet it is.
Much more entertaining than his show. Is that what he said?
She's getting back on the riding now, Casey.
Oh, yeah, she's riding hard.
And Vieira's howling now. It's definitely time to say goodbye. Amanda, do it.
Thank you, everyone. Always Arsenal.